Oh my geek!
All right.
I'm still not used to not doing the screen.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay.
I always feel cold when we start this.
I feel so cold.
I think that's just because you have no soul.
It might be.
Could be.
I am Barber of the Dark's brother, after all.
Hi, everyone.
She's going to be mad at me for talking trash. about her.
Nah,
She's not here.
you're fine. Probably. You might be killed.
You might wake up in a coffin.
If that's
That's
the
cool.
case, if this is my last episode of Oh My Geek, I just want to say it's been a pleasure.
What a ride.
It's been a privilege. Thank you guys. Thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
And never forget me.
There's such an easy just who?
What
But
happened?
well, why would I do that? So, hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Oh My Geek podcast. Welcoming everybody because I feel like after last weekend we may have some quite a few new listeners.
Oh, cool.
So
I hope so.
I know. So thank you very much for tuning in, downloading us wherever it is that you have downloaded us at for your ear holes.
I now have the iHeartRadio app on my phone.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because we are now available on iHeartRadio.
That's why
So
I
that's
downloaded
Jam on it.
an even better reason for you to have it.
Yep.
Now available on iHeartRadio, on Stitcher, on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else you can find us.
Yes.
Across the internets.
Across the interweb machine that you may have in your hand. So thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Okay, bye.
That's it. We're out of here.
Please come to my funeral.
Oh, that's right. Everybody's in lieu of flowers, just Venmo, Nick, or I.
Yes.
We will take over his bid for the Oakland Raiders. Whatever money comes in.
It will be more than he raised while he was alive.
Yes.
Well, now I'm going to add this to my will. I now request that you guys, in addition, try to buy the Raiders for me. Try to buy the A's because I don't want them to leave Oakland too.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
I will immediately ship them to Toledo.
Okay.
all right.
All right.
Well, there's that. All right, good job, everybody.
Yay!
Yeah. So how was your week, everyone?
Meh.
Yeah.
My life is boring.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor fella.
Yeah.
Why?
Cause I don't know. I don't do it. I don't.
All right,
I've been
well-
watching a lot of movies lately, actually.
Okay.
So it hasn't really been that boring. It's been a weird thing. Like my girlfriend and her sister are going through the whole Harry Potter series right now.
Okay.
And then at home, I'm
I
watching
approve of that.
I'm watching nothing but horror movies.
Master must not harm Harry Potter.
So I'm like going from like Harry Potter to like Prince of Darkness, you know.
Yeah.
And it's
Potato,
just,
potato.
It's just such a jarring thing because like in October I'm like I complete full 100% horror mode, and then like for like a couple hours a day I have to watch Harry Potter, which I normally like the Harry Potter films. It's just
It's
this
not-
time
it's
of the
not-
year.
It's not what you want
Master
to.
gave Dobby clothes.
so actually I got lucky, right? The other night I left before Dobby died, and when I got to the house,
Spoiler.
yesterday- it's been like 8 years. And then when I got to the house yesterday, they had just started the Deathly Hallows Part 2, so I didn't have to watch Dobby die.
Nice.
Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, I can't do that. That messes me up bad.
Hits you in the feels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I remember reading that in the book, and I was very bummed by that as well.
Not all of us can read, Jesse.
Well, I know you can't.
The worst part of all is, I never learned to read.
Is that what you're trying to set me up for?
No, I just literally that just happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yay.
Spontaneity. But But yeah, that's really all I've got going on right now. I'm watching a whole lot of movies. It's
Okay.
my October routine.
All right.
It's what I do. It's just not a very exciting story to tell people. You know, what'd you
All
do?
right.
I watched Reanimator 3.
Okay.
Watched Prince of Darkness. None of them really that good. Prince of Darkness is kind of weird.
Well, I mean, since you're a boring person, I got to do the exciting stuff for us last weekend.
We'll see.
True
There you go.
story.
True. Yeah. So LA Comic-Con came and went.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, that was a quick trip for me. It was
Really?
fun though.
Did you get to meet the person inside the octopus?
No,
Was there a person inside of an octopus?
probably somewhere
What's
there
this
was.
about an octopus?
I think that was the mascot.
That's their mascot.
Oh, I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
I don't get it, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
So
lot of things I don't get, but
it looks
sometimes-
cool.
True.
They have an octopus. We have an otter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but ours is more topical,
yeah, well,
And it's also like,
relatable.
relatable because of the region. Is there a lot of octopi in Los Angeles?
oh sure,
Okay.
mostly in sushi restaurants.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Pulpo's big
Yeah.
in the Los Angeles area.
It is. But no, it was fun. Definitely seemed to be their busiest year.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it was when I was only there for one. I only went to the show one day, which was Saturday, and it was really really busy.
That's good.
Yeah. And
Well, I thought it was interesting that, it's a comic convention.
yes.
And I'm the kind of guy that, I'm looking for news, right?
Right.
Announcements and stuff like that. So, I didn't see any coverage of it on well, to be fair, I can't really go on Bleeding Cool anymore. So I go on there and I'm like, I don't see headlines initially. Those videos take forever to load. I'm getting out of this website. And I went on Twitter. I'm going to follow the hashtag,
Dropping sweet tweets.
LACC, right?
Right.
And the first tweet I see when I search that hashtag is someone that was excited and trying to get their friends to come to the happiest panel on earth.
Oh, that's
Nice.
And I
lovely.
went, small world.
That's lovely. Well, we didn't talk about that.
It's a world
No.
of laughter and a world of
Don't you start. No, we had a decent turnout for our first panel ever at LA Comic-Con, so I was excited to see that. So I recorded the panel, and we will play it on we'll have a bonus episode.
I like bonuses.
That'll come out a few days after this one, and we'll record a little. I'll talk more about. We'll do an intro to that. I'll talk a little bit more about the panel itself before we actually play the audio. But no, it was a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So hopefully because of that, hopefully that means that we'll be back for next year.
Awesome.
And any other cons that want to have us out to do that, go for it. I won't mind. But I think that more than likely, it's assuming we were to do it at other cons, which is possible, I think that the LA one will probably always be the one where we'll have the most people on the panel.
Yeah.
Because I think other shows that we go to, just because it would require more traveling for a lot of individuals, one or two, maybe three. But I think that when we do in LA, we're always going to have a pretty large group.
That's understandable.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So,
for
yeah.
the further traveling, I can pretend I was a cast member.
No, you can't.
I can pretend. I didn't
No.
say I could
We'll
be
know.
I've heard
convincing.
enough of the jokes.
We'll know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more than jokes. It's more than just the jokes. You just know.
You remember that one time? It was
You just
funny.
know. Like, I'll tell you, there was one time when I worked at another theme park, there was an individual who had told people that he was. And
He wasn't.
unfortunately for him, one of his other co-trainees was a cast member. She didn't work on Jungle, but I knew her very well.
Oh.
And so when she was training,
Bum, bum, bum.
yeah, when she was training, she ran up to me to say hi and was like, "Oh, hey, I should introduce you. I'm not going to name the person. You should meet this person. You know this
Carl.
person." And I was like, "I don't know who this is." And she said that he said that he had worked on Jungle. I'm like,
Not up in here.
really? When? Oh no, I was seasonal. And so you may not remember me because I was only seasonal, and so in my head I was like, oh, okay. So
Question.
you made a claim, and now
You got caught.
you got caught. But I'll let you have it.
Question. Does
Yes.
Disneyland have seasonal employees?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yes, because
The holidays.
yeah. So you bring them in for the busiest times: summer, winter, spring, and a lot of those are usually college students.
In fall.
So it's during when they would have a break in school. That's usually when we get the larger influx of cast members because that's when we need, or they need more people to work in the areas. And then once those seasons are done, then they go back to whatever it is that they do.
Yeah. Maybe he was seasonal at Knott's Berry Farms and was too ashamed to admit it.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I always wanted to work at Pirates.
Parrots, the parrots.
I would look good in pirate garb.
You think that until you put it on.
Well.
Maybe he would feel better in pirate garb. Maybe the inner Nick would really come out.
I enjoy Blue Bayou.
I do too. Can never go wrong with a Monte Cristo.
I haven't been to Disneyland in 20 years.
What's wrong with you?
Monte Cristo sandwich.
Life.
Well, next year you're going. I don't care.
And money. Like, you kind of need money.
Well, you better start saving it. You're going next year, goddamn.
And then you need time.
I'll take you, buddy.
Unless by then we have a time machine and I can just, or maybe what I could do like on Out of This World, I just put my fingers together and freeze time, and I just go to Disneyland.
For all 5 of our listeners that remember that TV show.
Now, granted,
I love that show.
I did too, and it once I got on the internet and I found out that it was not as well known as it was around here, I was actually surprised because everyone I knew watched it growing up.
Yeah.
No one ever talks. You never hear you don't see like retrospective videos on YouTube about
It's true.
the history of Out of This World. It barely has a Wikipedia article, but
Wikipedia says it was a show.
Yeah.
But I mean, it had Burt Reynolds for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Well, his voice anyway.
Right.
Had Doug McClure.
Yeah.
Doug was a big. He used to live in this county.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is that why it takes place in a fictional town
Of
in
Marlow,
this county?
California,
Yeah.
between Carmel
and Monterey.
PG.
Yeah.
It's
Which
between
I'll
PG and
never
Carmel.
understand how I watched like every episode of that show and had no idea that it was kind of like local.
Especially
Yeah.
since that's the only reason apparently you'll ever watch something is just so you can say that, as we've discovered.
Yeah.
Oh, that took place
I mean,
here, so I love this.
I don't
You're so
always
easy to
love it.
please.
Johnny Bravo was here. Guy
It was
From
created by
Salinas.
some, but no, I mean,
talking
earlier
about
we
the
were
rodeo.
talking, I don't actually like Hellraiser 3. It sucks. But I was excited to hear that it name dropped Monterey.
Uh-huh.
I also don't like The Fog. I got really excited when they name dropped Salinas.
Because when you think Ghost Pirates,
I think Salinas, California.
Pirate goes. Although I'll say this, I am no longer going to watch Live PD.
okay.
Yeah. Oh, because we're not on it anymore.
We're not?
Tonight's the last episode of Salinas. They dropped Salinas.
When they do that?
They announced it yesterday or the day
They just
before.
re-upped them.
Yep.
They only re-upped them for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Huh? Happens.
Yeah. Yeah. So no longer watching Live PD,
We're no longer.
and I'm gonna start.
Interesting enough for
I'm gonna
my
start
guys.
my A&E boycott that no one else is gonna join. But I don't care. I'm gonna boycott them anyway.
Oh, good. Another one to add to the list.
Yep.
Jeez.
I actually have a Facebook page for it. For
Well,
all my
this show
boycotts.
is starting off great, Nick.
Oh my.
Thanks. Goodness.
Anything else you want to boycott while we're at
I'm
it?
waiting
Yeah.
for the day that somebody boycotts me. It hasn't happened
Well,
yet.
I can guarantee you people have probably already either fast forwarded a lot of the show or have just turned it off saying, why did I download this? I went to that really fun panel at LA Comic Con and it sounded great. And why am I listening to this? Click. There's your protest. Thanks, Nick. So I can't have nice things.
If there is a protest, I want to know where it is so I can join it.
Why?
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
I will.
All right,
I will
that's enough.
boycott myself.
Let's move on. Goodness.
Would you like to swim on a star? Caribou games home in a jar.
Oh, Edie. Edie? Evie?
Evie.
Evie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evie.
Oh, Maureen Flanagan.
Maureen Flanagan.
Yep. All right. Moving on. So, Mr. Nicholas.
Yes.
What was new on the shelves this week?
X-Men #1. The brand new X-Men. I don't know if I want to call it a relaunch.
They
It
always
doesn't really
relaunch.
fit into any real categories.
A
It's kind of.
retooling?
It doesn't.
A
It
rebranding?
doesn't really.
A redrawing?
Don't give it a label. It's so much
A
better than that.
re-boycott?
It's no. So
Boycott.
Marvel has hardcore retconned
Everything.
X-Men, only X-Men, but it's really good.
Hmm.
It is really good, and it's like hard sci-fi by Jonathan Hickman. And anyone who is familiar with any of his indie stuff, this is really in line with his indie stuff because Marvel really gave him carte blanche to whatever he wanted, and he exercised that.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's been the hot book of the week. I, for one, am excited that X-Men, for the first time in years, doesn't suck. Because I grew up loving X-Men, and it's been a rough go the last 10 some odd years with the X books. Like, it's, I mean, you know, like.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you said that. Is I know that of the two majors, you've been down on Marvel, for a while as far as the books go.
Mm-hmm.
So to hear you say that about that makes me think that this is a really good one for me to check out.
Starting like last year, Marvel really started to go in an upward direction for me. I mean, it's still not what it was like 13 years ago, like in the days of like Civil War, but pretty damn good. But no, I mean, I as a kid, I was always like, I started reading comics when the X-Men Jim Lee run hit. That was like about a year before the cartoon hit on Fox, which we'll be able to watch in a few weeks on Disney Plus.
I know, that's so exciting.
And so X-Men was always a big deal to me, a big part of my childhood. And I mean, X-Men's like a constantly changing thing, like like themes, tones, everything is.
Would you say it's mutating?
Yes, actually, I would.
See what I did there?
And it mutates and it evolves, but for like a while there was still that familiarity there. Even
I thought it was pretty brilliant.
But in the last decade, it really lost that. And, you hear the stories about how due to like Marvel Studios and Fox not getting along, they were trying to downplay the X books, and you don't really want to believe that because
Right.
you really want to think, well, Marvel still would want to make money off comic sales, but then when you read the books, you're like, oh, but it's a hard argument to But now that Disney owns Fox, 20th Century Fox, and the properties are kind of sort of back home, and
What?
everything's all good. It seems like
How is this not in the news?
I don't know. It just seems like everything's back on the right track, and I'm really liking it. And also,
X-Men's back. All right.
I actually like that music video
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
jeez.
You would.
with the Universal Monster stuff
Get out.
and the
Get
the
out right
stupid
now.
dancing and but no, but it was cool. And also, they created
Why
a
did they name drop Selena's in it? I really like that
not
music
in
video.
this one,
They
but,
name drop Selena's in it.
but there are comics out there that do talk about it. So,
I was
Action
talking about
Comics?
I was talking about the video.
no,
Action Comics did.
Yes,
Yes, they did.
Superman is not from, but he was living in a farm in Salinas, California at one point. And to this day,
And good for him.
well, it's weird. So, I mean, segueing here, but so DC Comics, everything is a fictional city unless it's like New York or Los Angeles. Every other
Right.
city in the DC universe is completely fictional.
right.
And yet, they set Superman up in Salinas, California.
Yeah.
And the only reason I could think they would do that is that someone at editorial was a big Steinbeck fan.
Probably,
Because
yeah.
other than that, I'm completely clueless. But no, the X-Men book.
True
So,
story.
they actually created a new written language for the X-Men books, and we're giving out these little cards that have a key. This is A, B, C.
Little decoder.
And the nerd in me is like, oh, cool. I get to now learn a new fictional language because I'm a
Mutinies.
nerd.
Oh god.
Krakoan is what it's called,
Ah.
from the island of Krakoa. Yeah. No, I thought it was fantastic.
Not to
and
be confused with Krakatoa.
yes.
Nor to be confused with the Kraken.
Or
Or is that what he speaks? Ah.
But this is the first in a line of new X-Men books.
Bum, bum, bum.
and
I like it. That sounds good.
I do too. And I'm looking forward to the rest of them.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right. Anything coming up that we should be on the lookout for? Maybe adding to pull lists and whatnot?
Well, I mean, the
Other
X-Men,
than- other than
the
this run?
X-Men books. We're getting a new Batman writer in a few months.
Oh, that's
and
right.
I'm really looking forward to that. I don't want to give any opinions on previous Batman writers. I'm just going to say I'm really excited about the upcoming writer of the
That's
Batman
okay.
It's
title.
okay to say it went downhill after Scott Snyder. It's fine.
See, I thought it was okay to say that, but for a long time, people, challenged me on that.
They got sad.
No, they were getting
Aw.
upset. Like, no, it's really good, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm a big Batman fan. I disagree. And then it seemed by the time, like, issue 50-something rolled around, people started coming to my side. And I'm like, yeah, I've been saying this for, like, 50-something issues, but whatever.
No, please take a drink and pause right in the middle of a sentence.
I wasn't in the middle of a sentence. I just,
Well,
yeah.
it's
Or
like you
was
didn't
I?
finish your thought.
I didn't finish my thought.
You're killing us.
Well, welcome to Attack Nick Night on the Oh My Geek podcast.
What is wrong with you?
It's okay. I can take it.
I can take it and flash forward to the end of the episode. He's in the bathroom.
Why are you guys picking on me? I
there-
thought we were friends.
That's exactly what I sound like when I cry.
No, we know. I'm sorry. Go on.
He ugly cries. It's fine.
We all do. Oh, I've had my moments.
There's another book on the shelves this week.
Uh-huh.
I thought was really interesting, and I thought it was going to be somewhat controversial, and it's not. It's called Superman Smashes the Klan, and it is it is done in the style of the old Fleischer cartoons.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
Superman with the black ass shield and the whole nine and everything, and I
As in the KKK clan?
yes, as
Or
in
like the
KKK
Foot Clan or
Pretty
no,
odd, the Foot Clan.
no, as in the triple
wow.
K, yeah, and I for one am all for
That's pretty
Superman
awesome.
smashing the Klan, and
I
I'm
like it.
hoping this spins off into other ones. I want to see Batman take on the Klan. I want to see Green Lantern take on the Flash. All of them, the whole Justice League. See what else?
Meanwhile, back at the halls of justice.
I would even like to see the Legion of Doom take on
Yeah.
the Klan. Everybody.
Do you think that this might have anything to do with the new Watchmen series?
I don't have a clue. That starts tomorrow, though, right?
Yeah, well, because my understanding is that they have their version of the Klan. That's the big evil in this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That thought just popped in my head. I don't know if I'm just grasping at conspiracy theories here, but it's not it wouldn't be the first time recently that DC has tied in the Watchmen to their.
I mean, maybe. Although if that is the case, this is a really weird segue because in spite of its content, it actually looks kind of like a kid's book. But on the topic of the new Watchmen show, honest question: are you guys looking forward to it?
I'm gonna watch it. It's not one that I've really been waiting for, but I'm interested in seeing what it is, so I will watch it.
I'm gonna check out the first episode tomorrow night out of just pure curiosity, but I have no actual interest in this show.
I don't.
Mostly because I don't fully understand what it is.
I just forgot that I didn't put it up, so I'm just pulling it up for later. Don't
man.
say anything, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, ignore our laughter, guys. It'll all come up later.
It was funny.
But no, I mean, I've seen every trailer that they've made available, and I've read what promotional stuff is out there, and I don't fully understand what this new Watchmen show is. And I'm sorry, but if I don't understand it, how
Why
can
am I
you
gonna
expect me to
watch
watch
it?
Exactly? You know, like I mean, am I alone in that? Is that just me?
No.
No?
Okay, good, because
I saw the first thing. I was like, I'm okay.
it looks weird.
I don't need to watch this.
It looks weird. Like it's incredibly loosely based on Watchmen, as far as I can tell.
I got so much other things I could watch, and that this is not high on my list.
Thank you. Whenever I tell, like, someone asks me, "Hey, do you watch show X that I like watching?" and I usually say no, they always go, "Well, like, what's wrong then? Do you just not watch anything?" No, there's plenty of good stuff out there. I just usually watch that stuff.
Like, I need to get caught up on The Good Place.
I'm behind on that too, and
Yeah.
Superstore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't keep up with A Good Place. I liked it, but I've said this on the show many times.
It's Jason.
Which one is he? Is it the monk?
The monk.
Yeah, I can't take it.
Yeah, he's annoying.
Yeah, and I can't take stupid people.
Yeah.
I can't take him in real life, let alone watching them on TV.
Yeah.
After a while, I developed that watching The Office.
The fact that he's a Jacksonville Jaguars fan is really
Well, see,
disconcerting.
that's what bummed me
Since
out.
we like
is
to
that-
put them down on the past.
So I haven't watched it since Blake Bortles got released by the Jaguars, and so I thought to myself, like, first thing I thought was, man, I can't wait to see the next season of The Good Place because I want to see how they're going to address that.
Yeah.
And I haven't caught up yet. But no, I thought the first season was just until like the very final episode, and that twist is what got me. And I'm like, okay, now I like this show. So I didn't really start liking the show until the end of season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was something I watched with my girlfriend. When she stopped watching it, I stopped watching it, but I still want to continue it just because I got that far.
Yeah, you might
We'll see where it goes. Superstore, I actually really like Superstore.
I do too.
And same thing, she stopped watching it, so I stopped watching it, and I'm like, I need to get back on that.
The Goldbergs, I love me some Goldbergs.
I love the Goldbergs too, and I'm incredibly behind on that show. Like, super behind on that show.
Super behind.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's not really, I mean, I should be watching Modern Family because I like the show, but I never watch it, like, the new episodes. I always watch it in reruns and syndication.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, the final season, I told myself I was going to, like, get on it and, like, watch this season. I just haven't done it yet.
So speaking of seasons, we're going to jump to something that's on the bottom of our list that we can get to this because I see it in front of me and it kind of goes with what we're talking about.
Yes!
So we've mentioned it on the show before. And I don't know why I brought it with me, even though we're recording audio, but I think it'd be good just to have it in hand while we talk about it. But there is a Netflix series that we all love called The Toys That Made Us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And over the past couple of weeks, the show has been released on DVD and Blu-ray. And so each of us got a Blu-ray copy.
Yes, we did.
And it's pretty cool. So first off, I have to say, thanks for the delivery, Amazon, and crushing this package.
It's pretty tore up.
Yeah,
when you
this
look
is
at this thing.
this is pretty beat up. So I'm glad that it's not
At least it still looks like a rectangle.
ish. It's rectangle-ish. But at least the stuff inside was okay. So let's open up the box here. So the cool thing with the Blu-ray, as Nick, you were saying earlier, is probably one of the coolest things about the set. Before I take it out, I'm about to sneeze, huh? Talk amongst yourselves.
So the set, you know, when you look at the box, on the upper, like the top portion in the middle,
Yeah.
it's got a little TV set.
Yeah.
And then you find out it's actually
of the show's logo.
with the show's logo. And then you open up the box and find out it's actually a little toy TV.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but that was my favorite part of this set.
I think this is pretty cool.
I did too.
So
And then I realized you can hang it on the back.
yeah, it's got a little thing on
Yeah.
the back, so you can just hang it on the
A
wall.
little.
I don't know why I would put it on a wall.
No, see, I agree, but now that I know that I can, I kind of want to.
Well, see, this actually,
Tack it in there.
you can hang it up somewhere here in the shop over you.
Yeah.
But this will probably be, you know, on the shelf by my computer while I work. I'll have this little thing right there. So you have the little TV set with the logo on the old school television set, I should say.
Yes.
It's not flat screen. It's got the dials on it.
Yep.
It's got knobs on it.
It's like 13 channels. You get UHF and VFH.
That's kind of one of the things I thought they missed out with the actual cover itself that I thought Stranger Things did better is they made it look like a VHS cover.
Yeah.
And I feel that this could have done something along those lines, if not VHS, to make this more like a television or something. I think they kind of missed out with that. But at least they highlighted the television set inside the package. And then inside, then we have the Blu-ray discs themselves. And I don't know why, but when I opened mine, I messaged you guys about this. There was a weird, it's not there anymore, but when I opened the box, there was a weird smell inside of it.
I did not sniff my box yet.
Well,
I can smell it. That sometimes
it's not as potent, but when I
Yeah.
first opened it up, I thought it was just me, and then my wife, was sitting right there, she's like, "Is that from there?" I was like, "Yeah, it's coming from the box." So it's not as bad.
But I know what you're
No
talking
towel-y.
about now. That happens sometimes when I buy when I buy like certain like Blu-ray sets where it's like plastic case inside of a
Right.
cardboard. It's like I think it's like a combination of like you know some of the chemicals from the plastic. And
yeah,
maybe
and that's
the ink
kind
from
of
the
what
cardboard,
that's
but-
kind of what I figured. So it
Yeah.
wasn't as big of a deal to me.
But so when I looked at the box, I thought, you know, and I was fishing here, but with the little toy TV inside there, it was almost like a toy box, kind of like, or a
Oh,
package.
okay.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
quite.
I see
but
what you're saying.
In a way, like a little bit.
And the package itself on the actual Blu-ray or the actual discs is decent.
Now, I pulled
it's-
that out. Was it difficult for you to take that out?
No, because all I
Because
did
it was
was
for me.
For
Oh,
me,
was
I was like fighting. I thought I was gonna rip it.
no,
it was
because
stuck
it was
in there
not-
good.
I
It
had a
was-
difficult time. You saw me struggling to get the TV out.
Yeah, that was
the
easy.
Blu-ray itself wasn't that difficult for me because I was able to just tip it over and it came out.
Yeah. I
But
tried that. It was stuck in there.
but when I did, and before I even opened up the actual set, is the discs weren't pushed all the way in.
So were mine.
So when I opened it, they were falling out
Oh,
of
mine
the
didn't
case.
fall out, but I was like, okay, where's the third disc?
Yeah. So
And then it was like behind because of the way the
Yeah, mine's actually in my Blu-ray player, so that's why it's not there.
Oh,
Because I was watching the extras.
it's all alone.
All alone.
There's a third disc.
The extras.
I'm gonna
So,
check when I
the-
get home.
yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. Make sure you have a third disc. So maybe that's why when I ask you if you watch the extras, no, because there's no disc. So I mean, like I said, the packaging is simple and it's
Yeah.
fine, but I think that they kind of missed out
Yeah.
on what they could have done with this being such a nostalgic show, where, like I said, Stranger Things, packaging wise, knocked it out of the park. But as far as extras goes, like we've said before, I really wish there were extras on the Stranger Things sets.
Now, a moment ago, you had said that when you were talking about the TV, you said like the old school TV, right?
Right.
Now, I didn't think about that when I first saw it because to me, that's what a TV looks like.
Right. Yeah.
The other
Well,
day, I was
yeah.
talking to a 20-year-old,
They don't know.
20-some-year-old, and they were saying, yeah, so my grandpa had like this, this really old TV, and it had like these knobs on it, and I don't know what they were for.
Yeah.
And I went,
It's for the channel, dummy.
kids these days.
There were no
Exact-
remote controls.
And you know what
yeah.
though?
You were the remote control. Hey, you go change the channel.
Yep.
But like what you said, I honestly wasn't thinking that as well. I specifically said that just to describe it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like, yeah, you know what the 20-year-olds like to say a lot when I'm talking about certain things. They go, man, way to date yourself. And yes, I am of a specific age. I'm aware.
If you've never seen it, just thinking of that type of thing, Seth Meyers every now and then does the thing with one of his young writers, where she comes out and sits down, and they do a contest, and he shows pictures of things to find out if she knows what it is,
Nice.
and then she shows him pictures of things to see if he knows what it is.
Nice.
It's really funny. They've done it like 2 or 3 times, but I love this little thing. It's so simple, but it was worth getting the Blu-ray for this
I agree.
little collectible. I love
totally agree. Now, I don't know what that says about me and how I value $1, but yes, I thought that loan was worth the price of a miss.
Mongo,
yeah.
just simple, man.
But no, I was gonna say the other day I had to explain to a 20-something-year-old how rotary phones worked because they didn't believe it.
God.
And they knew how it worked, but they were in disbelief, and I basically had to confirm, yes, that's how it worked.
You screwed up. You hung up and started
Start it
over.
again, yeah. And but that's just the way things were, though.
That's just the way it is.
So then the other advantage, like I just mentioned a few moments ago, to the Blu-ray set is the extras that are on it. So it does have a third disc. Hopefully you have one.
I'm gonna check when I get home.
And it has some featurettes and some deleted scenes, and they're really good. The problem with a couple of them is, first off, they have one when they're talking about Transformers from that episode. And I wish I could remember his name, but the creator of it, they're at their workshop in Japan, and so some of the deleted footage is basically him walking them through where they work and where things were built, and showing them how how they did it originally in building like Microman and things like that. Problem is, he's speaking in Japanese and there are no subtitles.
Nice.
And this is like a 10-minute long sequence.
Interesting.
And so I was watching it. While it's interesting at first because you can hear them talking to him and the interpreter talking, that stops after maybe about 2 minutes.
Well,
And so I was like, And then I wondered, I was like, oh, maybe I just turned off the subtitles and I hit the button. It's like not available. I was like, oh, okay.
well, when I watch it, I'll see what I can do, Jesse.
That's all right. I got the gist. It was kind of like, oh, here's where we did it.
Yeah.
And this is what the tools did. So I'm guessing that's what he said.
Then 8 minutes of other things.
And then the other thing as well is that when you select the play all, once it gets to the deleted scenes, after each deleted scene, you have to watch the full introduction for
that
each one,
sucks.
which is music, a quick montage, and then the creator of the series with a clapboard saying, "Here's the deleted scenes from season 1, season 2 of The Toys That Made Us." I almost said Stranger Things. You have to watch that with every deleted scene
Over and over.
over and over.
That sucks.
Yeah. So usually when you hit a select all, just a title will come up like, the name of the scene. So like, you would think it would just say, Transformers episode, interview with so-and-so. So that gets annoying after a while, especially because some of the deleted scenes are maybe like 20 seconds. So that's another, a minor issue, but I'm just glad that there were extras on it.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, we gotta pick our battles,
Oh yeah.
and
But it's just something that maybe for season 3 or season 4, when those eventually, not only come out but are released on something, if we get extras, that maybe they can, look at and possibly fixing that or changing that. Because just as a person who really loves the extras on a disc, after a while it gets annoying. But outside of those minor things, I highly recommend, if you've watched the series on Netflix, to get it.
I just hope that more Netflix shows come out with, like, that's one of my big complaints forever. Like, I remember the first time I saw Daredevil, my first thought was, man, I can't wait for this to come out on, like, on Blu-ray so I can see the making of, right? And no, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I would gladly pay for something I've already paid for if I'm getting special features.
And those were series that really did surprise me that they didn't put them out.
Yeah.
But it's very possible that could have something to do with whatever agreement they had with Marvel.
Yeah, but I mean, none of the other ones did. I mean, the closest we gotten so far was the special packaging and the poster we got from Stranger Things.
Right.
Like Orange is the New Black didn't have any special features. Like every other Netflix series on DVD and Blu-ray I saw, I would check nothing, just 13 episodes. That's it. No commentary. No commentary.
Well,
tracks.
I mean, just as far as them even being released, because those shows weren't ever released on disc, correct?
Daredevil was.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Forget what I said.
I don't know.
I'm gonna
I
edit
have to
that.
check season 4 of Arrested Development.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of the shows. I never saw, but like Daredevil, I actually looked for it. When it came out on Blu-ray, I almost pre-ordered it until I found out no special features of any kind.
Yeah, because I mean, Netflix is always, besides subscribers, is always looking for a way to make extra cash, and I think that if they're putting out really quality sets of their shows with extra features on it, the fans like us, that thrive on those things, I mean, we're gonna buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, how quick were we to jump on ordering this when we found out that it was coming out and that it was going to have all these extras?
I pre-ordered it as soon as I forget which of the two you sent me the link, but as soon as you guys sent me the link, I pre-ordered it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I waited till because it went.
It went quickly.
Yeah, it went quickly, and then it changed the shipping stuff, and then the price went up.
Yeah.
And then once the price dropped again, I immediately pre-ordered then.
Yeah.
Back to the regular price.
So, yep. I recommend it.
I look forward to finally watching it. Hopefully I have disc 3.
I hope so as well. So, yeah, Toys That Made Us. Watch it on Netflix. Get the Blu-ray set to get your little collectible, and let us know, what you think of it, and if you had issues with the packaging as well.
I really got lucky.
Yeah.
Well, I assume I did. Let's hope I have
That's
that
true.
third disc.
He may not have a crushed box, but he'll look at it. I don't have a third
I
disc.
don't have discs.
Ha ha ha. Oh goodness, what else is going on here?
My TV's a flat screen.
What else do we have here?
We got.
I don't know. We skipped the order, so I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter. Let's go to Black Adam's going into production in July, according to The Rock.
Finally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Took
So-
forever. He was cast 5 years ago?
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At
They
least.
finally have opened up some time where they can put it all through.
Well, there's no Fast and the Furious movie filming at that time, and
No.
so
And now we got Joker making $1 bajillion, and maybe they're like, okay, we can do
We
another
can do these
supervillain
movies now.
movie. Yeah,
right.
It better be a supervillain movie.
Well,
I don't want to see them turn Black Adam into a hero.
Well, no, he's going to be probably an anti-hero.
I don't know.
But they're going to put him in the next. I don't know if they're going to put him in the next Shazam or not.
I don't think so.
Because they put that on the slate already,
Right.
and I don't know when that correlates with this, but
I don't know. Does DC even know? Really?
I don't think they do.
Honestly.
they've they've got the 3 other pictures right now.
Well, they've got also like a bunch of untitled DC films with release
Well, yeah,
dates. We
they've
don't know
always
what
had
most of
those.
those are. Yeah.
But they have the Birds of Prey with Harley Quinn.
Or
Right.
is it really
Suicide
Harley
Squad
Quinn
2.
with Birds of Prey?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad 2.
Right.
Which is
And
really going to
then-
be more like Suicide Squad 3, because this Birds of Prey movie is
Yeah.
really going to be like Suicide Squad 2.
And then The Batman.
And where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights.
Never rub another man's rhubarb, boys.
So we got a lot of Batman news this week.
Yep.
So Jonah Hill no longer in as the Riddler.
Or, was he even... I know...
Or the Penguin.
Yeah, because I've heard that he wanted to play Riddler, and
Right.
they wanted him to play Penguin.
Right.
So, and he walked away.
I would have preferred him as the Penguin.
I think a lot of... Well,
I don't
know.
think I would have
out
liked
of,
him
out of
in
the
either
two,
Same for...
Yeah.
out of the two, I'd have preferred him as the Penguin.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see him.
I'm not. I'm just not a huge Jonah Hill
Neither am I.
fan.
Well, it depends what it is.
Yeah, I mean, me too. I mean, Moneyball, yeah. Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. Other than
those are-
that,
Yeah,
Superbad I like.
I love Superbad.
But it's just one of those things. It's kind of like Will Ferrell, right? Like the movies of his that I like, I really like, but I don't officially like him.
I got you.
You know,
All right.
like I never see. He's gonna be in it, and go. I have to watch this now.
Right.
You know, it's kind of same with Jonah Hill. Like I don't not like him. I've liked him at times, but he like his name doesn't really bring any excitement out of me. You know. But also none of this really like. I'm not looking forward to this Batman movie.
Yeah. Well, and for me, for the Jonah Hill news, it didn't matter to me one way or the other.
Yeah.
When the news broke that they were looking at him, being a part of it, I think, I was just like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
sure, whatever.
Yeah, like my interest in this movie is so low that like none of this really has an effect on me. I'm just like, okay, that's what they're doing.
well, I'm gonna go see it.
I mean, I know I'm going to go
Regardless.
see it, but I'm just not
But
interested.
now that
in it.
they've added the Riddler as Paul Dano,
Yeah.
that's
that's
a
good.
much better casting, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's stellar casting with Paul Dano, and then Zoe Kravitz in as Catwoman,
As Catwoman, yes.
as Miss Selena Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hope they go. Either they go the comic route or the Michelle Pfeiffer route.
Or they
Costume-wise.
do neither.
Costume-wise.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
Would
mean,
you really want to see it look like the Michelle Pfeiffer costume again, though?
no, because
Yeah.
I think that's iconic to her. I think
Yeah.
that's iconic to her Catwoman. The same way as though, even though for the most part it was kind of standard, the Anne Hathaway version was iconic to her. The Eartha Kitt version was iconic to her. I think that each, everyone I think will have their
Julie Newmar
They're-
wore it better.
their different approach, as far as costuming to what they're creating. I mean, it who knows?
Yeah.
Don't forget Lee Merriweather as well.
That thing, yeah, that's right.
Don't forget her.
Was she in the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But I'm so indifferent to all this now. The moment I heard Robert Pattinson was Batman, I was like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, I was a SpongeBob meme.
And here's the thing for me is like you were saying, yeah, I'm gonna see it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna hold.
I'm gonna hope it turns out.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm gonna hold my opinion until I see official footage, because the first time I saw an image of Heath Ledger as a Joker, I thought it looked awful. I thought it was gonna be horrible. And I'm talking about set pictures, not official pictures and not official footage.
I did that like that puzzle unveiling where like it was like something like
Oh,
every
yeah,
clue took a pixel off
Right.
until the image was revealed. That was
Yeah.
the introduction to the Heath Ledger.
But I remember a lot of some pictures leaked out of him on set, and when I saw it, I was like, I was one of the ones that thought that it was going to be horrible. What's he doing? This looks nothing like the Joker,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But then we saw the actual movie, and we're like, oh my god, this is a brilliant performance.
Yep.
So I'm gonna hold, my bashing on this until I actually see footage of the movie. Especially too, I can't remember the name of it. When I was at LA Comic Con, I was at a panel called, I think it was like the top 20 indies you must see, and he has a new indie coming out with William Dafoe, where they basically work in a lighthouse.
Yeah, from the director of The Witch.
And
it looks awesome.
It does.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things when I was watching the trailer for that, because I hadn't watched it yet. I'd heard about it, but I hadn't watched the trailer yet. So I watched it at this panel, and I thought, that was kind of the thing in my head that made me think, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to hold off saying anything until I actually see, because he looks really good in this. And I know a lot of people, we bash him for Twilight, which I think is warranted, because those were awful teen movies.
They were.
They're whatever they are. They're just a mess. But I know a lot of people that have seen his other films a lot of them have said, "Oh no, don't think about those. You got to see him in this movie. You got to see him in this movie." Well, and I haven't watched any of those other than Harry Potter.
I have, and he's a really good actor, but I still don't think he's right for the part.
Yeah,
like,
well,
that's just
again,
what it comes down to.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna personally, I'm just gonna have to hold off until I actually see anything.
But even like what Nicholas Hoult was on the short list too, and he's a great actor too. And I didn't want him to play Batman. I know at one point there was rumors about Kit Harington, and I love Kit Harington. No. Didn't want to see him as Batman either. Right. It's like not every good actor is right for any given part.
Right.
Excuse me. But I don't know. It's I don't know enough about the director either. Like I love Cloverfield, but I think that's the only Matt Reeves film I've actually seen. I didn't see any of the Planet of the Apes movies or whatever else he's done, so I don't really know him as a filmmaker. There's nothing going on with this project that has me excited other than it's a Batman movie.
Right. I get it.
And at this point, that's not enough for me anymore.
Right. I totally understand. But like I said, for me, I'm gonna hold off until I see anything.
But I'm not gonna lie. All this talking about this, I want to watch Dark Knight right now. It's been a while since I've seen it. It's been probably about a year or so, and I think that's a little too long.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies, so Masters of the Universe. So we've known that it's been in pre-production, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so what did you say the story is this week?
Well, it was a couple weeks ago. It was possibly Sony moving it to Netflix for release, which is interesting.
Yeah,
because they also have the cartoon television series they're going to be coming out with,
right?
And that should be very interesting. I can't wait for that because it's supposed to be immediately take off from the old series,
right?
Yeah,
the original '80s series. So
one has to wonder if She-Ra's success is the inspiration behind this potential move.
It certainly didn't hurt.
I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but it's been a pretty big hit.
Pretty big, yeah. But I know too, just from the style of it, it's going to be completely different. I think.
Oh, I'm not their demographic. Yeah. That's why I haven't watched it yet.
I've watched it just because my buddy is Swiftwind.
Well, I mean, but I respect it, but it's just not something that appeals to me. So I haven't checked it out.
Yeah.
But we got excited when we heard about the Kevin Smith series,
right?
And then you have to wonder because the fan response to that was huge, right? Like all of us Motu nerds were super excited.
I've only seen nothing but positive things.
Exactly. Yeah. So then, Sony's been struggling to get this movie off the ground for a long time. There's, this project has been many different things over the years, and it was originally, this movie itself was originally supposed to come out in a couple months. Like it was December of 2019, and that clearly isn't happening. It got pushed back, and now it seems almost like we got a lot of He-Man success on Netflix so far.
Did I ever send you that link that did there's like almost an hour long documentary of all the lead up to the movie?
Yes. Oh yeah, and I played it here at the shop. Yeah.
Okay.
And there was some stuff there I didn't even know yet. So I was like, oh, cool.
You didn't send it to me.
Oops. I thought I sent it on the thing. Well, I'll send it to you.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, I thought
I might have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I thought it was through the chat.
I'll find it.
But I mean, I'll bring up what I brought up earlier. Not for you listeners, but privately. So
I'm boycotting.
No, the Breaking Bad movie just came out last week on Netflix.
Right.
And I thought it was perfect. Like I absolutely loved it. And that's not the only example of things just went straight to Netflix. I mean, Daredevil was supposed to be a movie until they went, let's just do a Netflix miniseries.
Right.
And I don't know, there's something magical about Netflix. I know a lot of people lately have been very negative on Netflix. Oh, when Disney Plus comes out, I'm going to cancel my Netflix. Blah. I still believe in Netflix. And I, for one, am excited about the possibility of getting a He-Man movie, a live-action He-Man movie, or even, keep my fingers crossed, better yet, a live-action miniseries or show, like, I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, Netflix can do very little wrong because they've done more right over the years than they have wrong. And I think the possibility is great.
Yeah.
Definitely better than, Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Yeah, it no longer has a stigma that it would have had 5 years ago for a movie to be going direct to Netflix.
I mean, look at Bird Box. And I didn't even like Bird Box, but that was a major hit,
Look at The Irishman coming out.
Yes, I'm really excited for that.
So, speaking of Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
So, over the past, 2 weeks now, it's been an ongoing thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, in one interview, which led on to others as well, Martin Scorsese had some issues with superhero movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that they, according to him, are not cinema, and that they've ruined movies. And he feels that theater chains need to start putting their foot down, and I guess stop showing them.
So those parts I didn't hear. I heard
necessarily wrong.
I mean, I agree with those statements to an extent. I don't like these comic book movies. Everyone that listens to the show knows that. Should theaters stop showing them? No. Because the whole purpose of all this is to generate money.
Well,
but
I can understand when he because I'm piecing from different interviews, different comments that he said. Excuse me. I can understand him saying they're not cinema because for Martin Scorsese, when he says cinema,
he means art.
He means art.
Yes.
He's talking about films that he feels are provocative, that I guess just to go back, that are art.
Yeah.
Those are the movies that he's thinking of. That's the cinema of his school.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think he's right. Yeah,
I totally agree. However, not looking at the MCU, because those are popcorn flicks.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to say that those are art. Those are popcorn flicks, and they are there to do what they're supposed to do. Did some of them have, in my opinion, the potential to become a provocative movie? I think so. I think the ones that could have done it the most, Winter Soldier could have. The one that really let me down, we've talked about before, was Civil War.
Yeah.
Because of the actual story from the books. Had they used that more, I think it could have been more provocative and more current. But that's just not what they do. But you look at a film like The Dark Knight, which at that time, people thought, oh my God.
Best picture.
Superhero movies, comic book movies can actually be this good.
Yeah.
And then you look at what a film, I haven't seen it yet, but what a movie like Joker has been doing recently. It's been very provocative.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse. So I think that there is a counter argument for what he said, but when he then doubles down and then says, "I think theater chains should put their foot down," and basically stop, encouraging studios to make these movies, is like,
well, the audience is what's encouraging people to make these movies, not theater chains.
And it just.
But I mean, isn't that what art house cinema is for? Like, that's a place for people who love film as an art form.
But I think that there is room in mainstream, cinema, or mainstream movies for cinema. I mean, I find it kind of funny in a sense that he said this when he was supposed to direct a Joker movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, also more to the point, it's been a rough year for Hollywood, except for, Avengers and now Joker. Right. But, like, I think I counted on, what's the movies, like 4 times this year, I think?
I have not gone once.
Yeah, see? And we're all cinephiles here.
All the thing I've seen this year that's been released has been the Deadwood movie.
Yeah. But
why are you on this show?
No, I hear what
I have no idea what's wrong with you two.
I hear what Marty's
It's all
saying.
your fault.
But I've been crying out for the last couple of years that Hollywood needs to produce better movies, whether it be a popcorn action movie or something serious. Because a lot of like the popcorn action movies have been pretty, they suck. You know, like it's just movies right now, like, you know, mainstream blockbuster movies right now kind of suck with a couple of exceptions. But where the quote that I heard, because, you know, I actually didn't read any of the interviews. I did that thing that I always hate when people do. I just looked at a headline, and the headline I saw, it said that Martin Scorsese compares superhero movies to amusement parks.
Right.
And I was like, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And people here in the shop were getting really upset about it.
But it's true.
But it's true. They're for entertainment.
How
They're fun.
dare
They're
you.
exciting. You know, they're not here to be art. They're here to be entertaining movies.
Well,
that
it's a
people,
form of art.
Well, it is but the purpose though, it's like they're not trying to win Oscars with these movies. They're just trying to. They're literally.
Unless you're Suicide Squad.
But they've literally achieved their goals. They want to sell movie tickets. They want to bring people in the movie theater to spend money, and it's worked out very well for them. You know, and I'm talking about obviously the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but even with some of those movies, and I mean, I don't like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I'll make an argument for a couple of them. Doctor Strange.
Right.
Doctor Strange is all about coming to terms with life and what happens when you can't. You know, Caecilius can't come to terms with the fact that his family died. The Ancient One can't come to terms with their own mortality. Doctor Strange has to come to terms with the fact that the life that he knew is gone, and he can still help other people in other ways, and he does, and he is successful because he accepts what life has given him. Black Panther is all about heavy is the crown. What should you do? What's in the better interest of your people or the better interest of everyone?
Right.
You know, and you know, I mean, some would argue that Black Panther didn't deserve to be nominated for Best Picture, but there's something to that movie at least.
And not only that, but that same argument can be said for any movie that's nominated for Best Picture.
And oftentimes we talk about that. You know,
exactly.
So I agree with Martin Scorsese. I really do. And I'm glad that he's championing, you know, cinema, you know, as like, because I mean, that movies like lately just suck so bad.
Right,
know?
because I think that we do still need to look for those movies.
Yeah.
The ones that he's talking about.
You still need the blockbuster.
Absolutely. You still need the blockbuster, but I think as an audience, you know, we still need to seek those you know, those art movies out.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish that more people were interested in them, but just the fact of the matter is that today's audience, a majority of them aren't going to go to those movies any longer. That's why it's a very niche, you know, I mean, that for the things that he's saying and fighting against, you know, the theater chains, he's got a movie coming out on Netflix, you know, which, like we just said a little while ago, isn't a bad thing. You know, so I just feel like he's maybe doesn't understand, you know, where he is, you know, within the film community.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you do know that your movie's coming out online right now, and you've said, you know, and you're fighting against it. Why?
And, you know, going back, audiences speak with their wallets, right?
Right.
So the reason why these movies are becoming predominant in Hollywood, and this is where like these movies are changing Hollywood either for better or for worse, I'm going to say for worse, is because Hollywood works with, if this is making money, let's all do this until it stops making money, and then find the next thing that's making money. So I get it. It is changing cinema, probably not for the better, but...
Well, let's see. We went 5 decades with Westerns.
Mm-hmm.
We went at least 3 decades with musicals. I mean, they put it out in quite a boatload of films until it's completely run its course.
Well, and then a lot of
then we still circle back occasionally to the like Unforgiven or things like that.
Yeah. Right. And then, you know, the movies that we look back on as like fantastic works of art, a lot of them were not successful films at the time.
Right.
No.
You know, like they've become successful over time, which, you know, sucks for the filmmaker in the moment.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But like long term, the people who are interested in actually generating art,
well, that's why like
the good ones will stand the test of time.
His preservation stuff he's been doing with about a lot of old films that they've been getting
Yeah.
Yeah. Which,
to
yeah.
save things like that we never would see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I don't think people really realize how many movies have been lost just because
time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I just recently saw, and I've been meaning to do this for a while, but remember we were talking about they found Edison's Frankenstein?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
finally
yeah.
watched it. It's awesome.
And then they're still working on certain cuts of different films that they're trying to find pieces for.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, they recently had a restoration come out for an older film from about the teens that if they had made one mess, like just goofed up the chemicals on one of the negatives, would have been lost forever.
Yeah.
So that's how gentle they have to be with certain things.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, I think I've said it on the show before, but to really see the difference in stuff that you've watched on TV or even VHS, at that point, or even DVD for years, older movies. But when I was at Universal, they would have, and I'm assuming they still do, screenings on the lot for employees of classic, Universal movies. And they would literally, the film was pulled out of the vault.
Yeah.
And they would show it there, and to see those movies and to see how clean, and clear, so amazing.
The best thing to happen now for older films is 4K.
Yeah, I agree.
Because of what they can do with the digital element or the regular negative elements.
Yeah.
Put them to 4K and HDR is just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
None of the new movies are that great looking in 4K compared to what all the older movies coming out will look like. 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've been told, is like one of the most ridiculously breathtaking films to watch in 4K.
I brought this up on a much older episode, so for those loyal listeners, I apologize for just kind of rehashing an old story. My favorite special feature on any disc of anything I own is I have the Universal Classic Monsters Blu-ray set on Dracula. They show how they restored,
that thing's fantastic.
and it is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
And do you know what you have to thank for those sets? Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
Halloween Horror Nights at Universal is the reason that they reissued those movies, because they realized through the championing of John Murdy, who's the creative director of Halloween Horror Nights, and how big these properties were, that they really needed to have a quality set put out for fans, and that's why that happened.
And it is a wonderful set. I mean, I think a couple weeks ago I talked about how Casablanca on Blu-ray is one of my favorite Blu-rays. Just looking at it is absolutely gorgeous. Creature from the Black Lagoon on Blu-ray is one of the most beautiful things.
Oh, really?
To look at. And I swear it looks like it was shot now. Like just the up conversion is just gorgeous to look at. And the deep dark blacks of the water. In contrast, because we've all seen Creature of the Black Lagoon. It's one of the few horror movies where a lot of it takes place during the day.
Right.
It's just. I mean, the other ones like Wolfman looks great in Blu-ray. Frankenstein looks great. All the the graveyard scenes and the forest scenes with the mist and the at night looks great. But there's something about Creature of the Black Lagoon. You see everything. There's nothing hidden in shadow. It's all there. And every beautiful detail is just rich and it's just. I'm gonna watch that one. Screw the Dark Knight. I'm watching that when I get home tonight. But I love that set, and it's expensive if you buy it in the States. But the British version is region free, and it's so much cheaper.
Well, right now I think on Amazon you can get those collections they put out recently with the 6 or 7 movies on them.
Yeah,
for about $15 a piece.
Oh, you're talking about the Legacy collections?
Yeah,
that's even better because it's each the Frankenstein Legacy collection has all the Frankenstein movies, and the Wolfman.
And they have multiple films that are go between each set.
Yeah.
Most of them are still pretty.
Yeah, but
it's worth getting if you're liking those films.
Yeah, whereas the set that I have just has 8 of them. Right? It just has Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein. For some reason, not the Lon Chaney Sr. Phantom of the Opera, but the Claude Rains Phantom of the Opera from 1941.
Right. Well, that's because the other one was the rights are different.
Okay.
Kino Lorber has the rights to the Lon Chaney.
But it's just like the 8 key ones.
And you can get that one too.
And but if you're like a nerd like me who wants all of them, like you have to buy and I have most of the Legacy
I
collections.
want to kick myself. I didn't get the Alex Ross covers on the ones that came out.
Well, that's because they were so hard to come by. I didn't.
No, they were at Best Buy.
Oh, I never saw them.
Yeah, they released them at Best Buy.
Yeah. But yeah. For the record, The Wolfman is one of my 3 favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
All right. Also, so I'll toss this out right now because we are gonna probably go long with this. That way we don't go too long.
Yeah.
We talked in the last episode that we were gonna bring back Hindsight Theater,
Yes.
but I know somebody here hasn't done the homework.
Yeah, well,
No, it wasn't me this time.
I know it wasn't
Yeah,
you this time.
Hey man, like I've got things to do, like things.
I was actually the one of us that saw it most recently.
No, I did watch it, but I think that way we don't go too long with this episode.
Yeah.
That we'll bring Hindsight Theater. Also, too, maybe for those that are just joining us, that are our new listeners can join in on the fun. So our next episode, that'll be a majority of the episode. So again, for those of you that are new to the show, Hindsight Theater is when we choose a movie that we have not seen in quite a long time, sometimes since our childhood, and we rewatch them to see whether or not it holds up. And so our latest one for Hindsight Theater is Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and that's stellar song by Bryan Adams. So we will.
I love that song. I don't care what anyone
So
says.
I still love that song.
I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was stellar. So
I'm gonna break down that video too.
So we'll talk. I'm glad I actually found the official video. Yeah. So that's what I was looking for when they were laughing earlier in the show, is because I was doing a search for the video, which apparently is really hard to find. This official video.
Really? Yeah, I'm telling you.
It was. Did you see how many things I was searching through?
No, I wasn't paying that close attention.
Well,
okay.
that's what.
Okay.
That's
I'm
what
glad
I was
you weren't
complaining about on the Blu-ray. I bought the Blu-ray, right?
Right.
And
right.
it said it had, the
yeah.
Blu-ray
I looked at mine too. It's got the live version.
Yeah. But the Blu-ray has a ridiculous amount of special features. It's like dozens of features. It's like very packed. I wish some other movies would put that much effort into it.
I need to check the DVD features.
Do that.
Let's go. I'm gonna go back and check the DVDs because I think the DVD released with the music video.
But like, when you looking at the box, it doesn't say live music video. It just says music video for everything I do.
It does on the back of mine. It says the live video.
Well, maybe I just wasn't paying attention. Either way, I was expecting
you not read something carefully.
I don't like fine print.
I
guys.
just read the cover.
Captain Phonics.
But no,
the cover said Prince of Thieves, and so I immediately assumed that there was princes in there.
No, I assumed it was the video because as far as I know, that video was the only video that existed to me until I put it in the Blu-ray and went, wait, what's this? Where's the forest and where's Marion and where's?
Okay,
I don't like this.
Okay,
He's in Canadian.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah,
and our disappointment in those things on the next episode. Hindsight Theater, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. So sorry for that, but we will definitely have that in the next episode.
I know the suspense was killing you.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
But there were some other things that hit the interwebs over the past week. So let's go and go with this one first. So Disney finally released the official trailer for their upcoming film based on the theme park attraction, The Jungle Cruise, which is the first time publicly that they've shown it, because I know they've shown footage at a couple of conventions, including D23. But they didn't even get a trailer. They got a clip from the movie, but they didn't get the trailer. So this is the first time that we're seeing stuff. And I have to say, I am pretty intrigued.
I am as well.
But there's some nice nods to the theme park attraction that many people love. And for those that were at our panel last week and are looking forward to our bonus episode, they know why I love that ride so much. But let's watch the trailer, shall we?
Okay.
Legend has it there is a tree in the Amazon that possesses unparalleled healing powers. And the arrowhead is the key to unlocking it.
Stop her!
Hello. Just wanted you to know, this has been mislabeled.
It's got Fat Damon in it. I didn't notice it the last time around.
Was that Matt Damon?
Fat Damon.
Oh.
Jesse Plemons.
You shipping out, lads?
all the jungle cruises you could take in the Amazon, this one is undoubtedly the cheapest. But also the most thrilling. Heads up, coming through.
Did you ever actually swing in there like that?
Maybe.
Hey, now.
Natives. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for. The backside of water. It's the eighth wonder of the world.
That's true, it is.
We're headed upriver to Lagrimas de Cristal.
I've heard it.
We'll
Been
secure
said that
our
way.
travel. Come on. Hello?
Not a good time.
My brother and I are looking for passage upriver.
Please go away.
I have a lot of money.
If you believe in legends, you should believe in curses, too. You're gonna beg me to turn back.
Well, I look forward to disappointing you.
10,000 to bring you there alive. Dead is 15,000.
Why should I pay more dead?
Dead, I'd have to carry you. Dead's a lot harder, lady. Here we go.
Oh, God, sorry, Frank.
Sorry, strong form.
I cannot swim.
You booked a river cruise and you can't swim? The price just went up.
The myth is real.
I think it's going to be a hoot.
I think so.
What myth is real?
You know, the myth. Myth.
I thought
myth.
that was a weird thing to put into the trailer, end of the trailer there.
Well,
I was waiting for somebody to
there
pick
was
up on my
foreshadowing
Muppet
earlier
movie.
in the
The pick up on your what?
My Muppet movie.
I've never
reference.
saw the Muppet movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Never mind. Forget. You don't watch good
Loser.
things.
loser.
I haven't been watching good things this week.
How
I
do
can
you
tell
live
that.
with yourself?
But like I said, there are some
One
nice
leg at a time, Nick. One leg at a time.
there are some nice nods to the
I don't care how you put on your pants.
to the ride on there. But it looks fun.
Yeah.
So there you go. Next
It
summer.
does.
Next summer, the Jungle Cruise movie. It's nice to see the Jungle Cruise actually get attention.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time it was always kind of looked down on, by a certain section of people. They're the diehards that always loved it.
Yeah.
But it was also, for the most part, that ride with the stupid plastic animals. Red stupid.
So
Really?
I actually have a confession.
There are people. I've never been on the Jungle Cruise.
Well, it's more than that. So I went to
Bunch of
Disneyland
losers.
twice, once in '97 and once in '99. Right?
Oh, wow.
I've
What
spent
about your
a grand
graduation?
total. I got in a lot of trouble. I wasn't
that sounds about
qualified
right.
to go.
Yes.
I have spent a grand total of 6 days overall at Disneyland, right? And until I met you, I actually didn't know what the Jungle Cruise was.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Never heard of the Jungle Cruise. It didn't come up at all when I was there. I literally, but
I'm going to cry like Nick.
Yeah. I was like a little kid when I first went, and then I went back in '92, and then when I lived down in Long Beach, I had the Southern California pass, so
yeah.
I went like 6 days a week.
Yeah, I was 12 my first time and
Jesus.
14.
You all right?
Almost got attacked.
Natives?
They was getting me.
No, but I was 12 my first time there. I was 14 my second time there, and for the most part, I just did whatever the rest of my family was doing.
Yeah.
My grandma made me go on.
And I love you, but you're terrible. You're all terrible.
My grandma made me go on It's a Small World and the Mark Twain ferry.
Oh, Small World.
When I was 12, I didn't want to do either.
Some cast members call a Small World a time bomb. Because there's a big clock outside, and if you work there, it's all you hear all day is tick, 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 and sooner or later somebody's going to blow.
But of all the things I did at Disneyland, the only two I didn't enjoy were the Mark Twain ferry and It's a Small World.
It's not a ferry. It's a steamboat.
Okay.
Gah.
Well, when I was there, my grandma was calling it the ferry. I was just waiting for it to be over. That's all I cared about. I wanted to go and do something fun.
You
And I
didn't
did.
enjoy a nice leisurely. I was about to say stroll.
You're going to say stroll. Well, maybe he went for a stroll.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he didn't like it.
Of the
Not at Disneyland
Riverboat.
where there's nothing but exciting things to do there. I went on like Indiana Jones 12 times in a row.
Okay.
Like, you know, I want to do all the fun stuff. You know, I kept wanting to go back on the Space Mountain and Star Tours, and you know, although I hate Splash Mountain.
Really?
I don't like big like rides and drops and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And
well, then
hate
that would be a reason to hate
and
it.
What a loser!
and I didn't know about the first drop, the one that you don't see. 'Cause it's in the dark, and so I
Right.
hated that even more.
Nice.
And I'm never going
You
on
must have
Splash
loved
Mountain.
Pirates then, because both their drops are in the dark.
I don't remember that being like I don't think those drops are big though. Like that didn't
but
bother me.
Big
But
enough.
on Splash Mountain. Oh hell yeah, it bothered me.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But I will never go on Splash Mountain again.
Yeah, you will.
Never.
You
will.
were going on it.
Never.
I'm going to treat
We're
you
going
like
to that
I'm going to
park.
treat you
We're
like
going
B.A.
on the damn
Baracus.
ride.
I'm going to knock you out, and you're not going to wake up until the drop is coming.
Wake up right as the picture's being taken.
Yep.
You're going on that damn ride.
But
I don't care what you say. I'm
And
putting
we're
you on that
going
ride.
to shoot it and put it on our social
Yeah.
medias.
but
Because you know what? If we said that it's going so, then he'll go.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, we're going to film this to put it on
Yeah.
online. Okay.
It's happening.
He's vain. Look at it. He's
Yeah.
vain enough. He knows that he will.
Buckle up. Buckle up, Buttercup.
there's not a lot of things I won't do for comedy. But
Oh boy.
did I ever tell you guys
Actually-
about my time on? I got tricked into going on to the Supreme Scream at Knott's Berry Farms.
Is this a story we want to hear?
Well,
It's not very topical. We're talking about Disneyland.
no, but it's
I'm just kidding. Please, no, please go on. We're so interested in this story.
well, now I don't want to tell it, Jesse.
Good.
So yeah, I was 14. I was
You
in Knott's
wouldn't
Berry
do
Farms.
well on the Tower of Terror. Then
No, I would not have. But I didn't know what this ride was. I'm 14. My cousins went on it a bunch of times. So for those who know, Supreme Scream was just one of those drop zone
I
tower
like the
terror
flume ride.
kind of rides where it just takes you up
I like
and
the
then
flu
drops
ride.
you, right?
You just get sick.
The flume.
But all I hear, I'm 14. All I hear is, "Oh man, it's so much fun! You got to do it." So I go, "Okay." And I hate heights, by the way. I really have like a pretty hardcore fear of heights.
Oh yeah, we're taking him on Tower of Terror.
Or Gardens of the Galaxy.
So
or whatever.
it's you're in these harnesses and you're exposed. You're outdoors. You're not.
They do what to
You're
you?
not inside a
They
room.
expose
You
you.
wear a harness and they expose you? I wouldn't want to go on that ride either.
Point I'm getting at is you can see everything. You're
Well, he
outside.
is a
Yeah,
vain
apparently,
man.
because they
Yeah.
expose you.
And as I mentioned, I have a fear of heights, right? So we get to the top, and I can see the curve of the horizon. And I was like, oh,
that's where it curves.
crap. I look at my cousin. I went, I don't want to be on here anymore. And he looks right at me and goes, "There's only one way down, dude." And I went, "Oh, yes, that is correct. There is only one way down." And that was just down.
Well,
And,
yeah.
But
The sudden drop.
the sudden drop. And I found out that the thing is so heavy, it falls before you do. And so, I don't know how these other rides
Gravity
are,
puts you in your place.
but it when you drop, it takes you up a second time, drops you, and then takes you up a third time and drops you for the final time. So I had to endure that 3 times,
Yeah.
and it was one of the worst experiences of my life. And I'm never doing anything like that ever again.
Yeah, you are.
Because we're going to film it.
Yeah.
Um,
So we go on Tower of Terror at the time, and my buddy's cousin forgot what it does. Don't know how he forgot it.
It's in the
And
name.
he's sitting there screaming, and this little kid who's like 6 years old is next to him. He's all, "Why did I go on this again? When's it gonna be over?" And this little kid's like just staring at him like, "You wuss."
The one in Orlando is still my favorite.
Is it?
Oh, man, that one's so good.
Which I may be possibly
Really?
there in February.
Oh, then we'll have something to talk about because I may possibly be there in December.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, yes.
and I will not. Because I don't travel much.
Oh.
My parents are planning a Daytona 500 trip.
Oh.
I said, "Well, you're
Are
going to
they-
be near Orlando."
Are they
so I may
racing?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're just
Just
going to
fans.
I
watch
just thought
them.
they'd be
They're
kind
going
of
to
cool.
watch them drive around in circles.
Oh, okay. I just thought it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, my parents are racing in it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, something that we all fell in love with over the weekend was on Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
David Harbour from Stranger Things, Hopper,
My hero.
was the host,
Yes.
and they did a very timely. Well, it'll be timeless, I think,
Yes.
but a very timely spoof on the film Joker. They did a fake trailer based on the Sesame Street character Oscar the Grouch called Grouch, which after we watched it before, I was like, it has some language that we don't usually put on the podcast, so maybe we'll leave it off. But I suggest people go on the YouTubes if you have not yet seen it, and watch the trailer for Grouch.
You will LOL.
It's brilliant. It is brilliant. It hits all the themes and tones of the Joker film with so many inside jokes for Sesame Street.
It's kind of what I was expecting to see when HBO bought Sesame Street, actually.
Well, that's right. It's going on Max.
It is
And
now.
we still don't know exactly what Max is.
It's
And
Max.
So is
But is it a
the
separate
Ghibli,
service?
or what is it? Ghibli
Studio
Studio?
Ghibli? Yeah. Yeah.
That's going on there too.
so I can't wait. Wait, what am I talking about?
For HBO Max?
Well, to a degree. I mean,
I just want to know more about the service.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm a little drunk right now.
Hey, everybody needs a hobby.
No, the skit was great though, and it's one of those things. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be a very devout fan of SNL, and since Seth Meyers left, it's really been kind of hit or miss for me. And I actually haven't watched an episode in 2 seasons now.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it before. I still watch it, but I usually watch it after it's been recorded.
Yeah.
And I've for the past few seasons, I've fast forwarded through it a lot.
So I ended up accidentally recording the episode twice. Because I recorded, I'm still used to the at our time 11:30 broadcast, right? I haven't gotten used to the fact that they show it now live on the East Coast.
You mean West Coast? They always show it live on the East Coast.
We get the East Coast feed
Yes.
live now,
Right.
Which we didn't prior.
Correct.
And but last Saturday, I'm a Notre Dame fan. They had a late game, and I recorded it because I want to watch it, and I'm not at home, right? And I always record games for 2 extra hours because that's the max that Comcast let me do it. And I record games to record extra in case it goes to overtime or something, right?
It'll let you extend.
Not beyond 2 hours.
Yeah, 2 hours.
It'll let you extend to the entirety of the entire thing. Because I can watch an entire playoff game in hockey without ever losing.
On my DVR, I can
'Cause
go
what-
max,
overtime.
Yeah,
I
'cause
can
I
go
thi-
max of 2 extra hours.
Because I think what it does, because I've noticed it in games that I've recorded as well, is that it already compensates before the extended period that that we're like, we wanted to record
If
2
you were
hours
just
longer.
specifically adding the 2 hours, that I can understand. But you can physically have it record until it will take its entirety until it's over.
Not on my DVR.
Well, your
It
DVR,
will-
then
it
you
will
have a
not.
shitty DVR.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Boop.
But wait, do you guys have Xfinity though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
don't.
the X1.
Okay, I don't. I don't have Comcast for internet, just cable.
What a loser.
Yeah. And
Live in the now.
But anyway,
did you say you don't have it for internet, just cable? The cable is where we record it.
no, I mean I have Comcast only for cable, so I don't qualify for X1. You have to have Comcast internet to have X1. Yeah.
I
have
gotcha.
AT&T
Okay.
for internet.
All right.
But-
Still a loser.
Anyway, so
It's true. You are.
but conveniently though, the game ended right before the East Coast.
Oh, that's right. We're talking
beat
about SNL.
And but I had set the 11:30 one to record too, and so I watched the game first,
Right.
and then I was like, now the game's over. I'm just gonna watch SNL. Then it's coming up next SNL. I went, what? So I just kept it playing, and it recorded, and it conveniently also stopped recording right at the end of the
nice.
episode. And I went, oh, it was fate. But then I had it recorded twice for no reason.
There you go.
And
Kids, man.
Yeah.
but I watched the whole episode. I liked it. I didn't love it. Other than the Grouch was the highlight of the episode. That was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
There were some good skits. There were some meh skits.
Right.
But I might watch it. No, SNL Tonight's a rerun, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird because it wasn't just 2 weeks ago that Woody Harrelson was on.
It was last week.
I mean,
Or the week before. Yeah, 2 weeks
before.
ago.
Yeah, so that's a
Well,
weird...
technically he wasn't last week. He made a guest appearance.
No, I mean, but he
As the
hosted
host 2
wasn't-
weeks ago.
It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, so that's a quick rerun. I don't know.
I wouldn't know. I haven't watched the show.
They've done that
Decades.
for the past few seasons. Is after 2 or 3 to start off the season,
Yeah.
then they have a week hiatus and then they come back. And so
Weird. But I might start watching SNL again. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I miss it.
Yeah.
I miss it.
Like I said, just record it and
Yeah.
do what I did. Is fast forward.
But I gotta watch something now because Comcast took one of my favorite channels off. So
Speaking of favorite channels,
yes,
there was a channel on cable for many, many years that I loved, especially one of their shows that was on there. It was a network called G4.
Yes.
So G4 had some really good programming. It was programming for for nerds.
It was,
really.
yeah.
And it went away not long after Comcast/NBC purchased a lot of networks, and G4 happened to be one of them. And their thought was, oh, well, we're going to take this idea of, of these nerd shows, and we're going to brand it kind of with a GQ style. And I can't remember the name of the network that they ended up creating.
Esquire, right?
Esquire,
Yeah.
that's what it was. So it was going to be like cool nerd, hip vibe. And that network lasted maybe a year.
I was going to say, yeah, it's not even around anymore.
No, it's not. No, it went away.
It sucked.
No, thank you.
But one of the shows, which is really what brought viewers to G4, was Attack of the Show.
Yes.
And so Attack of the Show, if you didn't watch it, was a 1-hour live news variety show, is the only way I can think of it.
I remember when it was still called the Screensavers.
I remember that too.
Yeah.
And so Attack of the Show, like I said, it was live. They talked about the news of the day, but it wasn't just, they talked about a lot of topical stuff, but it was also about movies and video games and tech, and it was fun. And it went away.
Yep.
So one of the hosts of that show, who's a buddy of mine, this past weekend at LA Comic-Con, launched a Kickstarter for a documentary about what happened to that show.
Someone argued he was the best thing about Attack of the Show.
And he would love to. He'd love to know that. I'll tell him.
I legitimately, he was like my favorite person on Attack of the Show.
So I don't know if you gents have seen this yet.
I have not.
So I'm going to pull up the trailer that he launched from their Kickstarter page. So their Kickstarter is live right now, and they have a goal of 25,000, and they're already at 14. And so this is for what he hopes to be, if it gets fully funded. This will be a documentary about Attack of the Show. So let's watch the trailer, shall we?
For years, don't you know, I was a personality on Attack of the Show. Now we got to make us a video about all the good times we had.
Oh, Olivia Munn.
That's horrible. Wait, hold on.
Yes, this
Whatever
show is
happened
what
to
brought us
G4
Olivia
TV
Munn.
and Attack of the Show? I go to a lot of Comic-Cons, and it's the question I get all the time.
Where's Attack of the Show?
I didn't realize it meant so much to so many people.
It was a show for fans. It pretty much started the genre of it's okay to be a nerd, a geek. Because there was a time and point where it's kind of like you were outcast. And then you would watch the show, and you would actually enjoy what they were talking about because you understood it and you got it. And that was the best part about the show. When it went off the air, it was like one of the saddest days of my life.
It was kind of revolutionary. The fact that when you look at what the YouTube space does now with all these shows with movie news and fun, kind of a game show, but with these personalities.
I remember the Hot
focusing on
Sauce episode.
personalities.
It was the only thing of its kind,
The hot
really.
dogs?
This is a show hosted with a female, which you never get to see, and she's talking about video games and like gaming culture and movies. So I thought it was the best.
You have your choice of looking at entertainment stuff, where you get your news from, where you get your information, what's going on in the entertainment industry, right? G4, you tune in, Attack of the Show, had it for you, man.
Everyone wants to know what really happened. Well, we will get the answers together as I talk to the producers, the executives, the writers, and the talent to get the real story in a movie called Attack of the Doc. I'll be documenting the entire process as I record interviews that can only be heard by backers in an exclusive podcast.
But you hold it and be like, all right, guys, so Seth Rogen's here today. He's in a new movie called Superbad.
So you'll hear the uncensored and uncut interviews. And as soon as we're funded, you'll get to see the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Ooh.
Exclusive footage, never before seen video, and the real story behind Attack of the Show. What do you really want to know? Back Attack of the Doc, suggest a question, and I'll ask it. So please consider contributing and join me on this journey as together we make Attack of the Doc.
You got cash in your pocket, look harder, donate to the Attack of the Doc Kickstarter. It's gonna
I'll
be
contribute.
fun. Interviews are gonna rock.
I've already backed one of Chris Score's Kickstarters before, and I was very happy with my decision to do so. So yeah, when when we say this was like, or when they say this was a show that was for the fans, like as someone who watched it, I can tell you right now, yeah, it really was. Early into its Attack of the Show run, they tried. They were successful, but they tried early on to start doing comic book coverage, which no channel, no TV show at all was doing any kind of comic book coverage, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of websites that should have been doing it, really weren't. But the first person they had to do comic book coverage, they're sitting there reviewing like that week's new releases, and you could tell he's kind of being a douche, and he was none of it seemed sincere, and it, almost seemed like he was like kind of like making fun of it in a way. And they used to do this thing, in the early days of Attack Show, that at the end of the episode they would have the host just sitting at a table and just kind of going over, recapping the episode. And they I can't remember his name, but they had said, "Hey man, so you really like comic books, don't you?" He goes, "No, dude, I don't like comic books. Comic books suck. I just did that because I got told to by the directors." And he was very shocked and appalled and offended that someone would consider him a comic book fan. Well, he was not on the next episode, and I never saw him again. I don't know if he ever got any other work, but yeah, he got fired really quick.
Good.
So if you go on Kickstarter and look up Attack of the Dock, that is what will pop up. And so some of the rewards that they have, like he was saying, is you will have access to a backers-only podcast, and that'll have a lot of the interviews with former hosts, former behind-the-scenes people, and I think he's also planning on even interviewing fans of the show as well. So you're going to be able to hear a lot of that as it goes into production. And then, like you said, if it's fully funded, immediately backers will be able to watch the first 5 minutes of the documentary, which is pretty cool. Let's see, what else? For 20 or more, you get the crew patch along with the podcast. And apparently that's going to be the only type of merch that they're going to create for it. For 40, you get a digital download and the podcast. So that means you'll get the movie once it's finished. Let's see. The early bird, you get all the rewards. A bonus piece of memorabilia only offered to early podcasters or backers, excuse me. I have no idea what that is, so who knows. So it'll probably be stuff from the set that he still has or that some of the people have. So it goes on and on. There's a lot of stuff to choose. And one of the rewards as well is the party. So you'll get everything along with the release party. You'll get an invitation to go to that when it would potentially be released in 2021.
Awesome.
So you'd get an invitation to go to the party. So you would be there with all the people that helped create it and probably people that were on Attack of the Show as well. Yeah. So there's a lot of cool rewards.
Actually, for that price, that's not bad.
No. So yeah, for that reward, it's $125.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's quite a few other ones as well, depending on what your budget is and what you want. But you can,
awesome.
But you can
associate producer credit.
Oh yeah.
Over $5,000, you can be a co-producer credit. Yeah. I mean, you would at that point. You're helping produce it.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I mean, but you can even pledge as little as $1 just to get access to the podcast and to help Chris out. But that is my recommendation for this week, and not just because Chris is a buddy of mine, but like I said, I loved this show, and that's actually I became friends with him because of this show. For the old site that I used to run, the old podcast I used to do, we kind of ran in the same circles, and we bumped into each other, and literally within 5 minutes, it was just one of those friendships that just happened. And now, we're really good friends, and so
did we just become best friends?
Yep, it was kind of like that. And I think there were beers involved, which tends to happen when Chris and I are around each other.
Now, as someone who doesn't actually know Chris,
yes,
I don't either, but I like beer.
My favorite segment, if you will, on Attack the Show is DVD Tuesday.
I loved that. Me too.
That was like my absolute favorite part, and like the reason why is because the movies that he would talk about were movies that like people like me like. They weren't like normal people movies.
Well, you got to remember too that for those that don't know it, he's
true. You're not normal.
He started Film Threat magazine.
Yeah.
you know, and that truly was an indie magazine. I think he started when he was in high school or right out of high school, if I remember correctly. Chris, I apologize if I'm totally getting your timeline wrong. But he would print it himself, you know, and that was how it was created. And now it's, you know, it's a pretty successful website once again.
Yeah, and that was one of his Kickstarters I held back, and I was like, yeah, to relaunch Film Threat.
Yeah,
I don't really back a lot of stuff on crowdfunding stuff, but I actually was like, this is something that I really want to support, so I did, and I was like, yeah, I'm glad I did. But I was gonna say, like, one of the first DVD I remember was he was sitting there giving a review on Maniac Cop, right? And now Maniac Cop is going to be a series on HBO.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's one of I mean, Maniac Cop's not good. I like that kind of stuff, but I like that kind of stuff, you know? Yeah. It's not good. I don't know who at HBO greenlit that, but I'm very happy they did because awesome. For those who don't know, just look up. I can describe Maniac Cop. It's not going to do it any justice.
That's okay. You don't need to.
Just look it up. Look up a trailer. You're not going to believe me.
Yeah, I think I've only done maybe 4 Kickstarters before, but one was the Critical Role one, which was ridiculously big, and then My Buddy's Brewery and a couple other little small ones. But that just the amount of, I mean, it's for the price and everything, and then that one is why wouldn't you?
Yeah, you know, and I bring it up not just because he's a friend and I want to talk about it and help him out, but like I said, I really liked this show, and I think for our audience, if they didn't watch this show, maybe they weren't aware of it, maybe they didn't have G4. I know a lot of a lot of services didn't have it. You know, it's kind of sad that they'll never get to experience that type of show because it was live, you know, every day, and they did some crazy stuff on there. I mean, it was ridiculously funny.
Yeah, back when we used to have cable here at the shop, it was like a requirement every day.
Oh yeah,
we watch Attack of the Show here at the shop.
Yeah,
because other than that, I wouldn't have been able to watch the show daily because it was on 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think 3 or 4.
I don't remember.
It was on early afternoon.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I guess not early afternoon, but no, it was for many years. I watched that show religiously, and I eventually fell off. And by the time I fell off, it was Olivia Munn started doing movies, and I don't think Kevin Pereira was there anymore, and I stopped watching it. And I'm actually not the biggest fan of Kevin Pereira, but he was one of the original hosts, you know. And so the original hosts were gone. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of gone too, you know. And then I did tune in for the very final episode, and it was a total bummer.
It was, and one of the things that sucked about that I know is that it wasn't live. They actually they made them pre-film it weeks before.
Yeah,
you know, so that they kind of sucked that they didn't get to have their last hurrah live on the air. It was just from what I heard, it was just very Comcast owned it, so it was very, very corporate. This is what you're going to do. These are our rules, and that's just it.
But I mean, the channel itself, it really started off as it was. A tech channel and then a video game channel that merged, right?
Right.
It was
Tech TV.
Tech TV, and then G4, and they merged and eventually just was G4. But when I got it here, we started getting it here in Salinas in 2004. And it was the merger just started, so it was still a lot of that's why I was watching Screensavers, which is a tech TV show.
Yeah.
And X-Play, those are my 2 favorite shows. X-Play stayed on, Screensavers became Attack of the Show. But I was loving it because essentially it was, for the most part, it was a video game channel.
Right.
Which, I'd never seen anything like that before.
And it's because of G4 that American Ninja Warrior is now a huge hit on NBC, because that was the one thing that NBC looked at and they're like, oh, we can take this and put this on one of our big networks and turn it into something else.
And it is a big hit, but unfortunately for me, I loved the original Ninja Warrior, and they don't show it here anymore.
No, they don't, because that's where you got to see it, was on G4.
But over time, G4 stopped doing stuff like that, really. I mean, not they still showed Ninja Warrior stuff like that, but it slowly became just more of a generic, whatever channel. They had that movies that didn't suck kind of thing they would show, and a lot of times the movies actually did suck, and so it was kind of a lie. They started showing reruns of Cops a lot.
Yeah.
And it just became something that really wasn't. And that's, all that kind of happened when I stopped watching it. I was like, man, I used to love this channel.
And I think that's when the things were starting to change behind the scenes from my understanding. And, and it's a shame.
I'm actually kind of getting sad right now talking about it. You know, like I don't know if you can see the twitches in my face right now, but I'm trying like not to get all teared up.
Yeah,
I love that show.
I don't want to get bummed out about it. I mean, it does suck.
He's definitely gonna cry. In
he's definitely crying tonight. You know, because it is a bummer that again that's gone.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we all got to experience that show.
It was awesome.
It brought some really cool people into my life, and I'm just excited that he's doing this project because I think those fans are still out there, and I think to have them come together now under the guise of, oh, remember this? Let's talk about this and let's celebrate this and show what it meant. Who knows? This could, I mean, if it were to come around again, it'll never be the same.
No.
But who knows? There may be a new iteration down the line, that can be web-based only.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But, they like a year or two ago, they brought back TRL. And just pure, total, like, hardcore evidence that, no, you can't capture that lightning in a bottle twice because that was awful. But that's kind of what it, like when Attack of the Show was on, it kind of reminded me of it's this generation's TRL.
Okay, yeah,
it was like a daily live show for the specific audience that it was meant for, and I mean I still think you could do X-Play. You could definitely bring X-Play back.
And for those that don't know, X-Play was a half-hour video game show.
Yeah, reviews, tips, tricks. Yeah. That would work well on the internet. I think. I don't think you can bring back Arena because I loved it, but that was like a really weird show.
Right.
It was a video game competition show. Now we have like esports, and that's more streamlined than what Arena was. But
I really don't think we could have gotten those things without G4.
Yeah.
Because I think my personal opinion is that I think a lot of those that are creating those shows were probably fans of the network, or maybe even worked on the network.
But like you said, like. The next generation of something like Attack, we need a show like Attack the Show.
Yeah.
And it's weird to me that we don't have anything like that anymore.
No, because I think that all the different parts that made up that show are now individual stuff by YouTubers.
Well, yeah.
And those YouTubers are a dime a dozen. Mm-hmm. But I think the thing that made Attack of the Show so special was the hosts and packaging it all together. When I say host, I don't mean just like Kevin and Olivia and Kevin and Candace. I'm talking about everybody that was affiliated with that show, that did the segments, that co-hosted. All of those people together, I think is what really made that show special.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I suggest going on Kickstarter and backing Attack of the Dock, and let's get this thing funded, and let's hopefully see it by 2021. And if you're at a convention, if you're a Kickstarter backer, it's very possible that you might be able to get interviewed by Chris and the documentary crew to be featured in the movie. Who knows?
That would be awesome.
So who knows? So hopefully it'll happen. But I think that is it for this week, gentlemen's.
Yay.
Okay.
All right. Nick wants to go protest something and then maybe cry.
Or both.
Or both.
Why not both?
Yeah.
You'll ride Splash Mountain, damn it.
That's going to be a title of this episode, isn't it? Either Nick protests or Nick's going to go on a Splash Mountain.
No, you don't know what it's going to be.
I don't know what it's going to be, but that's my guess.
It's always a surprise.
But, of course, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to us on wherever it is that you get your podcasts, whether that be iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, Podbean. Subscribe to us, leave a comment, leave a 5-star rating. We would love to hear from you. You can also reach us at show@omgeekshow.com. Follow us across the social medias at Oh My Geek Podcast. And I think that is it. Gentlemen? Yeah?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right. Don't forget to stick around later in the week, or make sure you subscribe so that later in the week after you hear this episode, when we will drop our Happiest Panel on Earth, our bonus episode from Los Angeles Comic-Con.
Dropping sweet tweets.
Right. But that's it. All right. On behalf of myself and the Oh My Geek Podcast, this is Jesse.
This is Nick.
This is the other Nick.
And we'll talk to you kiddies later. Bye, everybody.
Dude, I'm not gonna cave in. End of story, dude. Dude. Well, I guess you've got a point there.